Blackberries are almost ready. Hi, my name is Dawn. Welcome back to the garden. It's going to be another scorcher, but we're going to give you a little tour of the garden. I'm going to show you how everything's progressing. My flowers are all starting to bloom, which is awesome. Tomatoes are starting to develop. Didn't get any red ones yet, but pretty soon. I do have some things to harvest, like some zucchinis and some patty pan squash and a couple hot peppers. So I'll walk you around the garden and show you how everything's doing. Let's go. Hey, here's the start of the garden. I won't show you everything, just some of the things. But these are the cucumbers. You can see we need to get our second row of trellis on here. They're really starting to grow. And I did see some baby cucumbers started. So we're gonna have cucumbers soon. This is our one row of indeterminate tomatoes, and they are also starting to get some tomatoes, so that's exciting. Here's one of our rows of onions. They're starting to bulb up. I've been taking some, and here's some of the zinnias. These are some of the new colors that I did this year. This is a new one, and gorgeous color is just gorgeous on these. They're nice and small, which I love because they're going to look nice in a vase. And this right here is one of my favorite. Also for the butterflies and hummingbirds. That's the tall vibina. And here's a couple more different zinnias that I have. This one's old, but this is a cactus. I've never grown the cactus ones, and I'm not sure how much I love them yet, but they probably will look nice in a vase. Here's the traditional zinnias that I usually plant. Oh, look at this. My first Lisianthus. Let me get a closer look. This is my first Lisianthus. I planted them from seed in the end of January. This is my first one blooming. Now I have, this is champagne. Oh, that's gorgeous. You see the slight pink tinge to it. And then on the end here, I have a dark purple. Well, they're called blue. So it's a bluish purple. So I can't wait for these to bloom. And my basils have been doing fantastic. I've been making so much pesto, which I have this new chicken dish that I make, and it's delicious. And the dill, it's all heading out. So I need these heads for my pickles. And I also been taking some. I also have new dill planted in the house that I'm going to be transplanting out in the open spots. These are my regular bell peppers. They're just starting to get peppers on there. And the broccoli has been doing excellent. And I've been harvesting a lot. And now that it's getting hot, this head is about the size it's going to get, so I'm going to have to take those. I have my hot peppers over here. And then I have a couple of my favorite Hungarian wax peppers. They are the most delicious hot pepper because they're not that hot. And I eat them in so many things. So with the broccoli, I have at least 4 different types in here. So the first type I think is Green Mountain, and that was almost all done. And now we're going to be getting the side shoots now that we took the heads off. Then we have another type. I have to look at the tag. But see, these are just starting to put a head on. And then I have another type, and they're a little more far ahead. And down here, I have this odd one, which was delicious in the greenhouse. This is a purple broccoli, and that did so good in the spring in the greenhouse. So we'll see how it does in the heat. And then I have some cauliflowers, and this is the purple cauliflowers, and this is about done too. It's starting to open up a little bit, so I got to harvest these. So we got purple. Then I got just a couple cabbages because I'm the only one who eats cabbages. Two green and 2 red. They're doing okay. And then these are more cauliflowers. These are called twister. The leaves twist around the heads so they don't get turn brown because they're the white ones. And we did have some caterpillars on here until I smushed them all. And now the new leaves do not have any damage on them at all. So that's how the broccoli's doing. Then over here I have some perennials, and my eggplants have lots of buds on them. So hopefully we get some eggplants soon. Let me grab one of these. That's my Hungarian wax pepper. Always delicious. And I'll grab one of these jalapenos. Yeah. So this is the other row of indeterminate tomatoes. They will get as tall as this trellis. Same with the cucumbers. These are more my specialty cucumbers. I have a lot of the English in there. This is exciting. These are my dahlias. I have 4. I've never planted dahlia tubers before, and I think next year I'm planting more. They are gorgeous. This is the Bumble Rumble. Isn't that adorable? And then I have, this is gorgeous. Look at this purple flower. This is called Thomas Edison. This is really big. It's not as big as a saucer. This is like a large but not giant, I guess. And then I think this is a favorite one of all so far. This is Melody. Look at that gorgeous flower and the color. So this one just recently opened. There's a smaller one going to open. And as it matures, this has been here for about a week now, it matures into a lighter color. And these will last in the house in a vase for 2 weeks. So it's just gorgeous. And then I have another one here that hasn't flowered yet. Then I have Chinese forget-me-nots. They're always cute in a vase with the other flowers. And I have my other color zinnias. These are my peach. I tried to put colors together, but then I started mixing them up. So here's more zinnias. And I always plant in all the flower beds the tall vibena because the hummingbirds, it just attracts hummingbirds. Then I had the snapdragons. And this is the small sunflowers, the real poofy ones. I think it's gummy bear. So that's gonna be cute. Oh, before I show you the other flowers, I'll just show you this real fast. My beets, these are the cylinder beets, and they are starting to get beets. This is another type of carrot that was planted a little later. Then we have bush beans, and here's the squash beds. This is mainly summer squash, and on this side is mainly winter squash. And we grow everything in cages vertically, and I'll show you how everything's doing. These are the buttercup squash. You see how the vines grow up and they just grow into cages. And then all I have to do is, if one comes out, because they'll grow crazy everywhere, you just take it and you do that, and then you can hook it to the cage and make them go however you want, and then this will be all full of winter squash. So I'll give you a closer look at all the squash plants. This side is the summer squash. And this one has been the first one to produce. This is a new one I'm growing this year. So you got some here. Let me get in here. This one's perfect to pick. And I missed this one. I didn't even know I had it. This one is a little big, so I got to get that one out of there. And this is another gray squash, and that is definitely ready to pick. I should have picked this a little smaller, but this is perfect because I cut this in half and I take out the insides and I stuff it with sausage and peppers and onions and all kinds of vegetables and tomatoes, cheese. Comes out really nice. Then over here we have patty pan squash. That is ready to harvest. I like them small like this. So this is a patty pan. These are nice and tender to eat. Here's a closer look at the buttercup squash. I also have on here acorn squash Here's an acorn squash here just starting. Here's another one. It looks like the squashes so far are doing good as long as we can keep that squash beetle away. Keep checking the leaves. But that's what it looks like when you grow your squash vertically. See, this one's hanging out. All you do is have to bring it so it touches, just one-handed, without breaking my squash. You just have to bring it and have it touch this, and it will hook on and continue to grow up on there. And you just take them, stick them in there like that. They hook on pretty easy. Sometimes you just got to guide them to where you want them to go. So that's a look at how the squash grow vertically. Let me get a knife and cut those other ones off that I need. Now that the squash is producing, I got to make sure I get out here because they can double in size in a day. Can't believe that one got so big. Definitely should have picked this one sooner. That's a nice big zucchini. So that was a row of my snap peas, and they did excellent. We had so many meals off of them, plus snacking on them every time we're down here. But they're done. They don't like the heat. Can you believe it's 100 degrees out today with a heat index? They're a spring crop, and it's almost ready to start planting all my fall crops. So probably this week or next week I'm going to be planting broccoli, cauliflower, and snap peas. So here's another row of bush beans. This one is called Provider, and that is going to be my canning beans. So I'm going to can all of those. So I'm going to let them all mature and then pull out the plants all together. These are determinate tomatoes. So here are the other two rows of flowers that I have. This is an amaranth that is a volunteer from last year, so I'm just leaving it there. More zinnias. I have so many different types of zinnias this year. Here's a nice cactus flower. This one actually looks very pretty. Here's my geraniums. These are the tall ones. They are so nice to put as a filler in your vases, and they last a long time in the vases also, and they just multiply like crazy. I mean, you cut them, they just keep producing flowers. Then I have some really pretty snapdragons. Yeah, hopefully you can see this color. Oh, maybe I'll pick them for you. This is a gorgeous coral color. Nice. Here's a smaller one. This is a perfect size. The other one's almost open all the way, but we want to pick them in the house. You want to pick them so they're like half open, and then these will open in a vase. We got the sunflowers. These are the multiple stems, which are gorgeous because then they just keep producing flowers for a while. I also have, in the house, I have more sunflowers and more zinnias for a second planting. I left the space here. I'm going to put some taller sunflowers here. So my second row, I have these little white pom-poms. They are a nice filler flower. The taller ones, they are straw flowers. Then I have celosia, which I love. And I always plant every year my Japanese marigolds. So these are my bills of Ireland. I've never planted them before. Some of the old leaves don't look good, but they are starting to flower, which that's what a bill of Ireland looks like when you take those leaves off the side. That looks like a nice little filler. I have some over here too. And then I got all these sunflowers. These are going to be gorgeous. I have all different types here. The multi-stemmed, these are the single stem. And then I have my amaranths back here because they get humongous. This one's called a hot biscuit. They're just starting to flower. They have like a, I don't know what you call it. It's like a golden wheat color flower. And these are the red. Over here I have my feverfew, which is great. And see, that one's toppled over. I'm gonna have to pick that. I'll put it in a vase. But you can get the whole stem down. They last in a vase pretty good, not the leaves. The leaves do not last in a vase. So you make sure you take all the leaves off. And then I have 2 more rows of determinate tomatoes. I make a lot of tomato sauce, diced tomatoes, tomato juice. And this row has a couple things in it. This I had 3 loofah plants. Only 1 made it. I have 2 more in the house, so I'm gonna bring them out here. But these are melons. One is called Tommy Apple. They're supposed to be small, little, tiny, kind of apple-y tasting melons. So I'm gonna see how that is. This is some kind of small white melon, like a personal size. And then over here, this one I planted last year. It was gorgeous and it tasted good too, but I didn't get a lot. But this year, this plant looks great. And they have so many flowers on it. So I'm hoping to get a whole bunch. This right here are my pole beans. And you can see we need to get the rest of, they're on trellises. We have to get the rest of the trellis up. We'll probably do that later today, probably after dinner, after it gets a little cooler. And then that's basically it. Almost forgot, I want to pick a few of these purple cauliflowers. So let's see if I can do this with one hand. All right. See, they're starting to get loose. So we got to get them eaten. It's just getting too hot for them. I may as well pick this one too. That's pretty good. Got a couple cauliflowers, some big zucchini, almost too big, patty pan, and 2 hot peppers. I'm gonna pick a couple of the dahlias and bring them in the house. Wow, look how gorgeous that is. Is that awesome? Put them right in water, it's so hot out here. The color is just so pretty. And these will keep producing all the way till fall. So I think this needs a little blue. This is just going to be a simple flower arrangement. It's kind of hot in the day to be picking flowers, but since I'm out here, I may as well get them. And I'm going to pick that one snapdragon to show you how pretty it is. But look how pretty that is. And with the blue, can't go wrong. I grabbed some of the feverfew. I'll put that in here too. I said the leaves don't do well in the vase, but the flowers do fine. All right, so they have just a little bouquet to bring in the house. Isn't that gorgeous how big that is? All right, so that's it for today. I hope you liked the video. I have my little bouquet of flowers. And I have lots of zucchinis and a couple things to eat. And pretty soon we're gonna have string beans and tomatoes and all that kind of good stuff. So hope you come back and watch our garden grow. Bye-bye.